All right, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ian McNaughton. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to be talking about a bit of rugby here and some rugby news and headlines. First, I'm recording this Tuesday, May 11th. It's about 10 a.m. Pacific Vancouver time where I am. This morning, World Rugby announced the pools for the final Rugby Sevens qualification tournament for the Olympics this summer. Basically, there's one women's spot left for the Olympics. There's two men's spots available, and this tournament is taking place June 19th and 20th in Monaco. I don't actually know what stadium it is in Monaco, but it's being held in Monaco on June 19th and 20th. On the women's draw, there's a pool A, pool B, and a pool C. So there's three pools. There is 12 teams. In pool A, you have Russia, Argentina, Mexico, and Samoa. Pool B, you have Papua New Guinea, Kazakhstan, Jamaica, and Tanzania. And in Pool C, you have France, Hong Kong, Colombia, Madagascar. I have to think that France and Russia are the contenders to win this tournament and go to the Olympics. Part of it's because I believe earlier this year when they were having kind of their warm-up events, kind of test events in about February, March in Spain, I believe France won on the first weekend and then Russia won on the second weekend. It might have been vice versa, but Russia and France, I believe, are the two best women's teams in this tournament, in this qualification tournament, and they likely will go to the Olympics. I don't know. There could be some upsets here. Argentina could upset somebody. Hong Kong could upset somebody. There's upsets here, of course, like in any sport. But the two favorites, and I would say the two likeliest teams to go to the Olympics from this event are Russia and France on the women's side. On the men's side, there's 10 teams, two pools. Pool A has Samoa, Ireland, Tonga, Zimbabwe, and Mexico. And Pool B has France, Hong Kong, Chile, Uganda, and Jamaica. France was the best team in the World Rugby Sevens series in 2020. I think they finished sixth. I think it was. Yes, sixth. I just put that in their article that I'm reading. And then Ireland is a team. I think that's also fairly competitive. They're trying to pick it up a little bit more as well. They haven't taken it as seriously. The sevens, they've been focusing more on the 15s for a few years. Now they're all of a sudden getting into the sevens, maybe in the last 3 or 4 years. Samoa also should be a fairly competitive team, I would think, in this tournament. But it's probably going to go, France. I would think Samoa, Ireland, Hong Kong. I think that's how the top four spots will play out. France looks really good. When they're hot. I mean, France is very much a hit and miss team, but you could say the same thing for Samoa. Ireland hasn't even had the same amount of experience as either of those two teams. And Hong Kong, I can't remember Hong Kong for many years making it to the top level, the full-time circuit. So France will probably be the team to come out of that tournament and go to the Olympics in Tokyo this summer. Again, just a reminder, that tournament, the Olympic qualification tournament for Rugby Sevens, that's happening June 19th and 20th. Both the women's and the men's tournaments are happening then. The Olympics take place in Tokyo. The men's tournament starting on July 26th to 28th. The women's tournament starting on July 29th and going to July 31st. All that's taking place at Tokyo Stadium in Tokyo. It was a main venue for the Rugby World Cup in 2019. So that's why we're getting some more rugby here. It's been kind of quiet just with the COVID, and sevens, again, isn't as much of a priority for the bigger nations and maybe World Rugby than the 15s are. The 15s make more money, it's more popular, all that sort of stuff. So now we're starting to see World Rugby and the unions get together and make stuff happen. Also, earlier on Monday, the day before, July Internationals and Rugby World Cup 2023 qualifiers were announced. It's a really fun game. I don't want to get into it. Obviously, we know, I'll talk about it a little bit later. British and Irish Lions are playing this summer. South Africa has a couple matches against Georgia as test matches for the British Irish Lions. Japan will get a matchup with British Irish Lions on June 26th in Murrayfield and Edinburgh. Then they go to Dublin and they'll play Ireland on July 3rd. So that's going to be really cool. That should be really exciting. Canada will have its first match in 634 days, going back to October 8th. When they lost to the Springboks in the 2019 Rugby World Cup. They're going to be playing Wales July 3rd in Cardiff. That's going to be their first match in, again, almost 2 years. So Canada should be really excited to that. They were hoping that the England and Wales and the top teams would come over to Canada. I believe there was a match scheduled in Toronto between England and Canada, but instead England will be at home because of travel restrictions and COVID stuff going on there. So Canada is going to go over to England. Canada will be playing Wales July 3rd and then England July 10th. So that's going to be some good matchups for Canada. Get them some more experience, get the ball rolling as they try and qualify for the 2023 Rugby World Cup this fall. They'll have a few games with the U.S. Among other teams going on this fall. For the U.S., the Americans are playing England July 4th at Twickenham. That's going to be a really fun game, kind of a rematch from their 2019 Rugby World Cup matchup where the Americans just got destroyed by England. It got pretty nasty and pretty physical near the end. So that'll be a good rematch. And then the U.S. will play Ireland in Dublin on July 10th. So that's going to be really cool. That's going to be really exciting to see that. And then Wales, they got a bunch of matchups here. They're going to be hosting Argentina twice after hosting Canada. So they'll play Canada on July 3rd. They'll host Argentina on July 10th. And then they'll host Argentina again on July 17th. It's really fun matchups there. And then France will be doing a tour of Australia this summer. That first match will be July 7th, I believe, if I'm correct. Yes, July 7th. So July 7th, July 13th, and July 17th. July 7th, France will play Australia in Sydney at the Sydney Cricket Ground. And then on the 13th, they're going to be playing at I want to say it's here. It's marked down here as AAMI Park. I don't know if that's not the Melbourne Cricket Ground. I think that's like the Marvel Stadium, or used to be known as Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. Don't know for sure. Have to get checked up on that. And then July 17th in Brisbane, Australia will host France at Suncorp Stadium. So really good matchups there between Australia and France going down this summer. New Zealand will be playing Fiji a couple of times. I believe both matchups are going to be in New Zealand. I don't know for sure. They don't have it marked down on the website here, but that's all right. I'm sure we'll get to know that as soon as we get closer. I think I said South Africa's playing Georgia twice. There's a lot of rugby that was just announced on Monday. And then some Rugby World Cup 2023 qualifiers. So first leg of Samoa versus Tonga will take place, I believe, in Samoa. And then the second qualifier for that will be on July 17th in Tonga. So July 10th, Samoa hosts the first leg. July 17th, Tonga hosts the second leg. And pretty much the winner of those two legs will then be going on to Rugby World Cup 2023 as Oceania 1, which I believe is in Pool D. Yeah, they're in Pool D, which Pool D right now for the Rugby World Cup 2023 we know as England, Japan, and Argentina, with the last spot supposed to be the Americas 2 spot, which will be probably Uruguay or Canada. So essentially Samoa and Tonga will fill out Pool D as well as Uruguay, Canada. So there's a couple more spots left to be filled. And then the Africa 1 spot is going to be filled this summer at some point. Likely Namibia. Namibia has made the World Cup every year, every time it's happened except once. They haven't won a game, but they can usually beat up on the African nations pretty well, except for South Africa. South Africa has already qualified since they won the 2019 Rugby World Cup, but Namibia has a good shot to be Africa's one in this year or in this upcoming Rugby World Cup. So we have a bunch of Rugby Africa Cup matchups that will go on to the Rugby World Cup 2023 qualifier. And then we also have some Rugby Europe Championship 2021 games this summer, featuring like Russia, Portugal, Spain, Romania, and those are also going to go help towards the Rugby 2023 qualifier, because Europe has 2 spots. Europe 1 is in Pool C, which will likely be Georgia, because they're the best team, the best tier 2 team that hasn't already clinched. So I'm guessing Europe 1 will go to Georgia, and plus it's going to be like a repeat of 2019 and I think 2015, at least 2019, because Pool C in 2023 right now has Wales, Australia, and Fiji, and that's exactly what it was in 2019. And that pool also had Georgia in 2019, looking like they'll have Georgia in 2023. But then the final qualification winner, qualifier winner in Pool C could be Uruguay, could be Canada. That's a good question. We don't know yet. So look out for Pool C as well. We'll know a bit more about that this summer into the fall, I'm sure. The other thing I want to mention, I'm working on a blog for this. British Irish Lions announced their roster last week. A couple of interesting decisions by head coach Warren Gatland, the former Wales international men's coach. He decided to bring on Bundy Akai, Elliot Daly, Chris Harris. Neither one of Bundy Akai or Elliot, or I guess even Harris, I was expecting to have on the team, but each of them give some level of versatility for Gatlin, especially going up against the Springboks this summer, where it makes sense for them to try and be versatile, maybe attack the Springboks with speed instead of size. So that should be really fun, and that should be really exciting to see how that goes. Sam Simons, he's going to be a nice fit for this team. He's had a really good last 2 years with Exeter in the Premiership. So that makes a lot of sense to see him get on, even if he hasn't had the international experience. The fact that he's doing so well at the club level, I think it's worth bringing him on for a shot. I was a little surprised that Johnny Sexton didn't get the opportunity. He's in his late 30s. His best asset is that he's a kicker, and there's already so many kickers on the team, so I get why they didn't put him on. I just thought because of age and just who he is, they would put him on. Kind of the same with James Ryan. James Ryan is more of a height guy, the physical guy that I think is a talented player, but probably not what Gatlin was looking for in terms of how he wants to build his team and how he wants to attack the Springboks. And then obviously Alan Wynne Jones is the captain, which is really cool. That should be really exciting for him. And I'm excited just to see how this team goes. It's the all-star team of the world, essentially, when you have, the best players in Britain and Ireland getting together. I can name a whole bunch of players that I'm really excited to watch, and then we'll just be here all day. So, excited to see how that goes with British and Irish Lions. I'm excited to see what South Africa does as a lineup, maybe to counteract what the Lions are trying to do, or maybe they're just going to attack them anyways. Who knows? That's still over a month away. So that should be really exciting. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to listen to our podcast coming out we got another episode this week with Eliza Wilson and Jasmine Sodi. Listen to that on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thank you again for watching this video, and peace out.